Ah, yes. Every Pikmin fan knows what that is. The quick fade in of the Nintendo logo with an accompanied Pikmin saying Pikmin. Alrighty. I've been meaning to talk about this series for a while, and I've been wanting to make a series of videos called Rose Tinted Glasses for months now. And since Pikmin 4 is quite literally either tomorrow or released today, depending on when I get this video out, I thought it'd be the perfect time. This series has been around for quite a long time, and it has caught the hearts of so many people, including me. I'm Surge AI, and I'm going to tell you why this game has such a special place in my heart. I've played through these games, specifically 1 and 2, so many times in the past. There aren't really a lot of games that I can say that I keep coming back to, like the Pikmin series. It really has a special place in my heart. So if you don't know what Pikmin is an RTS puzzle game that released on the GameCube on October 26th, 2001. It has since gotten 3 sequels, that would release in later years. This is probably the first real strategy game I've ever played, and I've loved the genre since. Eventually I would end up playing games like it in the future, but nothing nearly as unique as Pikmin. In the first game, you play as Captain Olimar, a tiny alien who works for a transport company in the planet Hakotate, who was flying through space before his ship is hit by an asteroid, causing him to plummet to the planet below and scattering all of its parts on the surface. Once awakened, Olimar finds his beloved ship in pieces and states he only has 30 days before his life support systems fail, and he fucking dies of oxygen poison. For a Nintendo game in 2001, straight up dying for real is kind of a funny thing to think about. So anyways, near the crash site, he finds this funny little creature that Olimar calls Pikmin. In the later stages of the game, he finds 2 other types of Pikmin, yellow and blue, the first one being red. Red Pikmin are fireproof and deal the most damage out of the 3, and are my go-to for killing just about any enemy in this series. Yellow Pikmin can be thrown further and can pick up bomb rocks that can be used to break obstacles. They have really funny ears. I always like the way they look like Dumbo. Blue Pikmin can breathe underwater. They're, quite frankly, my favorite Pikmin type, next to white Pikmin. Their little mouths and gills are peak, in my opinion. Whenever I was messing around local streams, I'd always imagine Pikmin constructing bridges and collecting trash I saw around, and it was specifically like these blue Pikmin hanging around and I don't know. Olimar uses the Pikmin's help to collect all 30 parts so he can go back home and see his family again. Yippee! I was actually pretty terrible at this game as a kid. I would always spend days rebuilding my Pikmin numbers because they would tragically be fed to the Bulbears. Despite the numerous times I'd lose all my Pikmin or hit the 30-day limit and watch Olimar crash down to the surface and die, I would keep playing it over and over, dedicated to help Olimar get back to his home. There was this challenge mode where you had to grow as many Pikmin as you can within a time limit. My scores sure did suck, but I wore them with pride. Every part of this game was just so unique and charming. Watching the ship be rebuilt is satisfying as hell. Olimar's logs at the end of the day give us a look at what kind of guy he is and what the life he lives. And the music. Oh, the music. I used to just sit and listen to the overworld music because it's so good. It really calmed me as a child whenever I needed it. The entire series does music so well, and I could just sit in the menus listening to it forever. Also, moving the ship around the map was really fun and satisfying to watch the little thing fly around the screen as a kid. It was great. I guess it was therapeutic in a way when I didn't know what else to do, or I just couldn't find anything entertaining enough. As a small kid, I often sat around outside looking at small bugs and things, turning over rocks, looking in holes, messing with ants. I learned the crucial skill of watching dangerous things from afar after I got bit by a centipede. I still kept and messed with bugs, of course, but in a look at this cool ladybug kind of way and not poking a snake with a stick kind of way. To say the least, I really liked small bugs and creatures, and I still do, evidenced by my little friends here. So a game about small creatures exploring an unknown world full of bugs, plants, and Pikmin was right up my alley. The whimsical nature of the world, the mysteries it holds, and the creatures within created this insanely captivating world younger me just ate up. Obviously, I didn't have this game when it came out because I would have been like 2 or 3, so my ability to play video games would have been impaired to say the least. I actually can't date when I got the games, but hell, to me as a kid, 1 year felt like 5. I could have only played Pikmin for a few days or weeks out of the year, and it probably still would have had the positive effect it has on me today. I'll say I played the game when I was around 6 to 8, and it wasn't even mine, it was my older sister's. And also, it was her GameCube. So, when I did get to play Pikmin or Pikmin 2, the console and the TV were in my sister's room. So I would just sit in the middle of this room with a big little fat TV. The screen was no bigger than like 6 inches, but it was still really fat because that's just how those old TVs were. And it would sit on top of a dresser. So I would have this tiny little console just sitting on the floor, and then the TV would be like a whole like 6 feet above it. It's fond memories. I still wish I had that thing. This purple little economic failure is what introduced me to this lovely series. Because of this console, I also got to play Mario Sunshine, Battalion Wars, Pikmin 2. So on to Pikmin 2. Pikmin 2 released in 2004, and again, I didn't have it when it came out. At least I think. I don't know. I remember playing this before we got a Wii, and the Wii came out in 2006, and I think I remember playing a Wii that year for Christmas in 2006. Trying to date this is probably impossible. I mean, I'm not even sure I remember the stuff to begin with. The reason why it's taken me so long to write and voice this script is because I keep walking away and getting distracted. I know I have to write this script, but there's a dark room over there, and I can walk into it and think about writing the script! I just wanted to say, I think this game has the best menu opening out of any in the series. The camera quickly zooming past all the branches with creatures within them is so charming to me. The music blasting during the reveal of the title really adds to it all. To this day, it still excites me like, fuck yeah, Pikmin 2! Yeah! Okay, I'm making my voice all raspy. So, Olimar returns to his home planet only to be told by his boss that the company he works for is in debt because... In debt because something ate the shipment of golden Pikmin carrots. It was Louis. Louis fucking ate. His beloved ship is then sold off, and now he needs to return to the planet he just escaped from to collect treasures to pay off his company's debt. Fun! So anyways, I hate these two. They're terrible and I hate them. So you and Bastard go back to the planet to collect treasures with the Pikmin. On their way to the planet's surface, they hit a branch and Louis falls out of the ship. This game's use of real-life stuff is really freaking cool, and it makes it 1,000 times more immersive than any other Pikmin game. The music is fantastic, and the graphics are amazing for a GameCube game as well. This is the one that really got me hooked. Once we had this game, I would constantly ask my sister if I could watch her play Pikmin or play it myself. I would stick notes under her door asking if I could come in. They usually had this yes or no box, and she could write her response. I was usually disappointed with the response. Now, obviously, I'm like 24, and I understand why my, older sister wouldn't want me in her room 24/7 to play Pikmin. Um, Back then, I really didn't understand. I was like, why would you want to be away from me? Like, well, what do you mean I can't play Pikmin? I did this thing constantly where I would accidentally save over her saves, and I wouldn't have no idea what that meant. I mean, I did because I would load in my own saves and understand what that means, but saving over her save, I wouldn't know what I just did. And so you imagine just like, you're 25 days into Pikmin and you're about to beat the game, and then your sibling just saves over it to start a new game, and then suddenly you can't beat the game. So if you have younger siblings, just know that they they don't know what they're doing most of the time, so don't let them in your room. Once you pay off the debt and you go back home, on the way back, Olimar realizes that he forgot Louis. Good. Once you realize that, you land back at the planet. The president goes, "Oh no, Louis," and then you and the president go back to save him. So you have to go through a bunch of caves, a new area unlocks, I believe, and you have to find Louis. And it turns out that there's a giant final boss where that you have to fight to get Louis back. And in the Piclopedia, apparently it's implied that Louis is taking control of this beast and is trying to kill you because he's a piece of shit. Pikmin 2 added caves in the Piclopedia, 2 new Pikmin, and in my opinion, the best ship design until the president turned it pure gold with the money he used to pay back the debt. Somehow. I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. Anyways, white Pikmin are immune to poison, and if eaten, damage the creature. They can also dig up treasures underground. I love these little guys. Their beady little red eyes and tiny body are so cute. I would try my best to get as many of them as possible when I played. I just love them so much. And purple Pikmin. These guys are absolutely overpowered, and I love it. They can keep enemies stun-locked as long as they land on them and do tons of extra damage. It's so funny using these guys to obliterate any enemy you come across. I understand this kind of negates all difficulty on most enemies, and I just choose not to use them on certain floors. So when I played this game back in the day, I actually had no idea they could do that. I always prioritize getting white Pikmin because I like them so much. So, there's that. So, the Piclopedia. The Piclopedia is the best feature they've ever added in any Pikmin game, hands down. The information it added about every enemy, every boss, and even the plants. The plants! Seriously? The plants! You'd spend hours reading all of this info from Olimar's notes, and later you get Louis' notes on how to cook them. You could also throw pick carrots at the enemies within the Piclopedia, and as a kid, I would do this for hours just to watch them run around. This feature really satisfied my need to know more about this mysterious world. I remember running around touching the plants to make sure they were added to the Piclopedia because I wanted to collect everything in there and read it all. They also added caves. And when I was a wee lad, that was the sickest thing ever. You're telling me I can explore more of the world I already love? Yay! Yeah, the cave's difficulty can run from brutally hard to Snoozeville, but as a kid, I was obsessed with them. The atmosphere, the design, the music, the creatures within them. I would sit on safe levels of the caves and just listen to the music that played. It was great. The caves also, for some reason, paused time when you entered them. I'm not sure why they did that. I assume it's because some of the caves are super long to get through, and it would take longer than a regular day to finish. I have no idea. I do know that as a kid, I would gaslight myself into thinking time wasn't paused, but it turned out I was just an idiot and would enter a cave about 10 seconds before the day ended. I love every single one of these caves. Even if they're a tad repetitive and brutal, the unique music, atmosphere, and enemies is just something I really adore. To me, the caves give us a further look into this miniature world, and that's pretty great. The world somehow got my tiny little pea brain immersed with everything about it. Alright, there are two more modes in this game, the challenge mode and the PvP battle mode. So there are 30 challenges. The goal of each challenge is to collect the key on each sub-level to eventually get to the final floor. I remember beating every single level somehow, even though I tried to today, and it's just really hard to get through it. There was also this battle mode, like I said, where two players would try to collect more marbles than the other. Marbles. I used to play this mode a lot by myself for some reason. I just really like collecting the marbles and watching the other side lose, I guess. That was weird, okay? Yeah, I really liked collecting the marbles. They were shiny. This really is my favorite game out of the franchise, despite all of its flaws. It wouldn't be called rose-tinted glasses if I didn't blindly tell you how good my favorite game is. Come on. I have fond memories of this game and still play it today. Speaking of, there was this long period where I didn't play any Pikmin games. I found the internet early on and decided to kickstart that brain rot. It was only later when I got my own personal PC that I found other ways to play Pikmin and experience the games again. So, Pikmin 3. I'm about to say blasphemy. I've never played Pikmin until a few months ago. I was going to add a longer section talking about it, but it really doesn't feel too relevant because I only just played it for the first time this year. But I am going to go over it briefly because it does deserve it. It's a great game. Pikmin 3 released in 2013, but at this time I did not own a Wii U. My sister did, but she was out of the house at that time and I was still a little marble muncher. It also got a Switch port in 2020 that added a bunch of cool features and fixed a bunch of things. So anyways, Pikmin 3's plot is about 3 crewmen from the planet Kopai, which is facing a lack of food due to booming population growth and basic planning. They are sent to the planet which they have designated as PNF 404 to collect fruit. Following the same trend as the last 2 games, they crash, of course. This sequel adds 2 new Pikmin into the game, rock and winged Pikmin. Rock can't be squished, but it also cannot latch onto enemies. Winged Pikmin can fly, but they're also pretty weak attack-wise. So I played this game until I got the ending, and I played the cool side story as well. And I enjoyed the side story more than I did the main. The side missions just felt a lot closer to OG Pikmin than the main story did. And I really enjoyed them. This game is by far the prettiest out of the trio. There were also a few callbacks to previous games, and I absolutely love it when games do that. I will have to give Pikmin 3 another shot when I finally have my own Switch. And I'm not using my friend's Switch? Yeah, let's go with that. I almost forgot to talk about the Pikmin. The Pikmin, I love them so much. They're cute little guys, the sounds they make, the annoying trips they do, the little gluttonous things that will slurp up all of the nectar. Everything about these guys is so darn cute. They have such good character. And even my least favorite type, the winged Pikmin, are fantastic. They just have so much love and care put into them, and the games really make you feel bad about losing the little guys. It just, I mean, you see them get squished or eaten up, and then they make a sad dying sound before you see their ghost flying away. That's terrifying. I remember sobbing and crying whenever that froggy dog, this thing killed all of my Pikmin when I accidentally disturbed this giant egg. I care a lot for these little guys, and I love everything Nintendo's done with them. They're great. I was a small kid with autism and untreated ADHD. We didn't have a lot back then, and the things we did, I was bored of, and the things I did do were just poke around outside with bugs, stack cans, or chew on things I shouldn't have. This game about collecting parts and treasures in a small world full of bugs was the perfect distraction for me. I was this little hyperactive kid whose only thoughts were, I want to play this game about these little colorful guys in their small world. And that's why Pikmin means so much to me. It's a series that's been with me my entire life. And it's grown with me as I've grown with it. Hey, thank you for sticking around for as long as you did. I really appreciate you watching this video. It was going to be a lot different, but I lost about more than half of the footage, so I will pin a comment kind of explaining that a bit, but thank you for listening to me ramble about Pikmin for as long as you did. This series means a lot to me, and I don't even think I got that point across this video, so I think each Pikmin game deserves probably a separate video for each one in the future. So I'll probably work on that next. But anyways, as always, thank you for watching. You have a great day or morning, and go enjoy Pikmin 4.